Okay, so I'm going to go on to the second discounting example. So let's read it. So a store bought 5 mini stereo systems with a RRP, recommended retail price of $850 each. The store first gets a trade discount of 40% and then an early payment discount of 5%. So there's two different percentages and they'll be calculated off different amounts. So we have to be careful with those. A, what is the total amount paid with both discounts? And B, what is the overall percentage discount? So you cannot just add those two discounts together and try and take 45% of the total amount that we start with, because each one of those percentages is going to be operating on different starting values. So we need to do the discounts one after the other. But before we do any of that, we need to find the total amount that it's going to be operating on. So there's 5 stereos and they're $850 each. So that allows us to work out the total amount that is due to be paid. So total recommended retail price is going to be $850 times the 5 stereos. So 4,250 stereos, $50, is the amount for those stereos. Now, we get a trade discount of 40%. So our cost price after our trade discount. Now, of course, you could also work this out in multiple steps and then subtract them to get to your next value, but I'm going to do it in one step as another way of showing you how. So our cost price after our trade discount is the 100% that we're starting with minus that 40% trade discount on that starting amount, $4,250. So of course that is 60% of 4,250 or 0.6. So the amount they're going to pay for those items after that trade discount is $2,550. Now that's a big discount, but a store has to be able to make money. So these trade discounts often are a substantial amount. Now the second thing we have to do is find out the cost price after both discounts. So we now need to take another 5% off. So the cost price after both discounts is going to be 100% minus another 5%, but the value that we're starting with this time is the amount after trade discount. So you can see it actually, the cost price is going to be different now. It's the cost price after discount that we're interested in. So that's going to be 95% or 0.95 of the 2,550. And that will be $2,422.50. Now, if you worked out 45% of the original amount and took that off, you will see that it's actually a totally different amount. So it's very important that you don't get caught up with that. Now, part B, what is the overall percentage discount? So obviously it's not 45% because I've just told you that's wrong. So let's work out how much it really is. So it's easy enough for us to work out the total dollars discount here. That is the recommended retail price minus the price that was actually paid. So that's 4,250 minus the 2,422.50 we just said we were going to pay. So the amount of discount that was actually given to them was $1,827.50. Once we figured out the percentage discount, the dollars discount, it's pretty easy to work out the percentage discount using that little formula we actually worked with before. So percentage discount equals the dollars discount over the recommended retail price. Now, where and why is that the case? What we're really doing is we're figuring out what fraction of the whole that we started with has been given as discount. What percentage? Percentages and fractions are very similar types of things. They're just written in a different way, but they mean the same thing. So the whole amount that we started with was the total recommended retail price, and the fraction that we're taking off is the dollars discount that we're not going to pay. And we're going to then turn that into a percentage. So in this case, our dollars discount is 1,827.50. That's the fraction, the part we're not paying, out of the whole, the amount we started with, 4,250. Of course, put that all into your calculator, and that is going to give you with 43%. Note, this is not 40% plus 5%. So it's really important that you practice this. People tend to get caught up with finding fractions. Fractions are notoriously difficult for a lot of people. So please practice what you're finding. And what you are doing then is you're going to do these questions, exercise 10.2, questions 1 to 6. If you want high marks, you have to do more work. And the homework for next lesson is going to be watching the next screencast. And the topic for that one will be profit and loss. See you in class.